Hey everyone, it's Catalina. I started my vlog very late today because basically what I've been doing all day long was I was editing my video that's gonna go up soon. It's actually exporting right now, and that's all I did. I kind of hung out with my mom, and then I went to go work out, which was okay. And then I came back, I ate dinner, and then I've been editing, and it's like 10 o'clock, so I have to do like my my other workout that I do at home. I usually watch news, and I do that makeup at 10, and then I finish it around 11, and then I take a shower and I go to sleep. But yeah, I didn't upload yesterday's vlog because it has like a segment where I'm wearing the makeup that I'm gonna put up as a tutorial for my main channel. So, I just didn't want to ruin it. And what else? Well, I heard some interesting stories from my mom about the house that we used to live in. So I think I already told you guys that I believe in ghosts and I see ghosts. And it's not like one time thing that happened to me. I've seen ghosts like a lot of times. That's why I believe in them. And I was talking about my mom about that, and we were just talking about like different houses and like different um in Korean you say kiun. I think like in Chinese you say it like chi, and Japanese I think it's like ki. So it's just kind of like the surrounding like energy of the house, and we were talking about that. And my mom's like Christian, so she doesn't really believe in ghosts or stuff like that. But we were talking about how some houses that we lived in, everything kind of turned out good for our family, and then some houses, everything just went bad. And we were talking about the house that we stayed the longest, and it was in in a place. Okay, here's like the background story of it. I'll just tell you guys this story, and this will probably be like the end of today's vlog. Kind of sad, but sorry, I was just really busy. But so when we first went to Korea, we went. My dad wanted to start a new business, so while he was like looking around for places to have his business at, he decided to stay at a place called Gangnam-gu Shinsadong, and throughout his like entire stay in Korea, his business has always been at Shinsadong or like Apgujeongdong. So those areas are south of the Han River that kind of like goes straight through Seoul. So the north part of the river is called Gangbuk, and then the south part is called Gangnam. So when we went, like Gangnam was like booming. It was kind of like the up and coming area for like the new rich people. So we moved there, and the thing is, like, me and my brother didn't want to go into like an apartment because we thought the apartments were too small, and like we were just complaining a lot about it. So my mom and dad just finally came to a house, like a single family house. And back in like Gangnam, there were still like some single family houses, but it was like really difficult to get that house, and they were really expensive. But for some reason, that house was out on the market really cheap. So my mom and dad was introduced to that house by, I think like my dad's like cousin or something like that, and he was like, it's really cheap. It's at a very good location. Like you have to get this. And my mom and dad, like, they're like young and naive, so they're like, okay, we'll buy it. And then they got the house, and then we moved in. It was like a huge house for like Korean standards. It was like one of like the biggest houses in the whole neighborhood. And like, well, we were happy about it. But the thing is, like, just with the benefit of the hindsight, I just feel like so many things went wrong in that household. Like our family just kind of came apart. So many bad things happened to me, my brother, my dad's business, my mom, like everyone involved in there. And when we finally moved out, I wasn't there when my family moved out. I was already in San Diego. But when I was back in the States, my mom and dad decided to downsize because the house was too big with me gone, and then, like, it's just like my mom, my dad, and my brother. So they decided to downsize a bit, and that's when they left that house. Then after that, everything just kind of started to come back to what it should have been. So I always said that that house was like it had like bad like feng shui or like bad um like energy around it that did us no good. And then finally my mom told me today about the story of the house. So she was like, listen, like we didn't know either when we were moving out. We heard this story, but before we moved in, right before our family moved into that house, the owner of the house was actually this person who was very uneducated, and he came from a background with no class. But that's not the problem. The thing is, like, he did like some sort of business, and it went very, very, very well. So he and his wife were sitting on a ton of money, and that guy had a mistress. So he was actually channeling all his money out to his mistress, not because he wanted to like have like a second family. What he was planning to do was probably just like channel all the money to the mistress and then divorce his current wife and then go live with her. But the thing is, like, like if you're married, you definitely know what your partner is doing. And if you're running like a small business like that guy was doing, then you know all the finances. So the current wife was like, what the hell is going on? Like, where's all this money going? Like, why is like all your finances messed up? Like, why is like everything not in the book? Yada yada yada. And they would always fight. So finally, the current wife, like, she kind of knew what was going on, but just always kind of hold on to like this hope that is not true. But finally, like, the husband confirmed that yes, he was having an affair, he wanted a divorce, and all the money was going to the mistress. So that just like ticked like the current wife off, and they were fighting, and then she threatened her husband that she was going to kill herself, and she ended up killing herself in that house. And that's why that house was on the market for so cheap. And my mom and dad just naively walked into it, and I believe, like, there's just like bad fucking energy in that house, because it's not just our family. It was kind of like, it's like a single family place, but in Korea you could rent out like smaller units of the house. So like, let's say like the basement portion is, it's kind of like a half basement, but we had like 5 houses underneath us, and those are like all rented out to like different people. And then we had like a second story that had a separate entrance, and that house was rented out too. So what happened was there was this like newlywed couple on the second floor, and they kept on having miscarriages. And it's just so weird because like the wife, not the wife who killed herself, but the newly wedded wife was always talking about, like, it's so weird, like doctors don't know why I always get this miscarriage, yada yada yada. And like the people, I don't know like the entire history about the people who lived in the basement portion, but they weren't like really doing well with their lives either. So I just really, really think that that house is haunted. But anyways, that was kind of like the interesting story that I heard from my mom. And then we were just talking about like how like people can never get satisfied with themselves. And I was just talking about, like, we were talking of, my mom was just like kind of pointing out how fat I became, and she was like, don't you need like liposuction if you're having such a hard time losing weight? And I'm like, listen, I only like started working out, what, like 3 or 4 days ago. Like, you have to wait it out. You have to wait at least 3 months. Just give me 3 months and I'll show you results. And then like and then that kind of led to like plastic surgery. And then I was just telling her about someone that I know who has really big boobs, and her boobs are kind of heavy, so they're saggy. And we were just talking about, like, it's a problem if you have big boobs or small boobs. You there's like never like a perfect situation for everyone, because small boob people, like a lot of people get boob implants nowadays. And then like there's like people like my aunt who has like huge boobs, but she hates her boobs throughout her entire life, she was always talking about like how she wanted boob reduction, but she's not gonna get it because obviously she's scared of like the surgery. But she would always kind of talk about like how she wished she had smaller boobs, and it's just like funny how, you know, people can never get satisfied. But yeah, that was kind of like the story we were talking about. And my mom was just really worried about me like gaining weight. The funny thing is, she knows the side effects of birth control pills because when she first came to America, what happened was, um, from Korea, the government gave her a lot of birth control pills because, you know, like, um, they came with like government funding and whatnot, so they would encourage people who came like that to the States to not have any kids because that would be burdensome. You won't be able to continue your studies. You know, it was just like prolong so many things, and life would just be tough because having kids is really expensive. So my mom was taking like birth control pills when she first came, and she was explaining to me how during like the first 6 months, like she would get so fat. Like people were all surprised because they thought like either A, she was like a really fat person, or B, she was really sick because her face was so swollen. And I was like, that's exactly what's happening to me. It's just like uncontrollable weight gain. I cannot control this. And she was like, then stop the birth control pills. And she was like, it doesn't matter. Like, she was like, would you rather be fat or would you rather have acne? And I was like, I'd rather not have acne and try to work out the fat. And she was like, well, it's up to you. But she was like, your acne doesn't seem like it's such a big problem. Like, why don't you just get off the birth control pills? Because once she went to the doctors, and like the doctor was like, "Oh my God, what are you taking?" And my mom was like, "I'm taking birth control pills that I got from my government." And like, but the doctor was like, "Stop it! Just stop the birth control pills because they're so bad for your health." So what my mom did was she stopped, and then, like, you know, throughout a course of like a couple of months, like her weight like became stable and it just went back to what her normal weight was. So, you know, she was like kind of sharing her experience about birth control pills, and she was like, you know, unless like you need it, just don't take birth control pills. And I don't know. I'm already what, like into my uh, third, fourth month, I think. Time flies. And I don't know, maybe I will stop it. But if my acne starts coming up again, then, you know, I definitely have to take birth control pills because I cannot stand my acne. Yeah, but basically, you know, that's kind of like the interesting stories that we talked about. And my ghost stories, I always tell people my ghost stories, and like people freak out about my ghost stories. But I'll tell you guys later on because, you know, it's not really worth talking about right now. Yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna finish uploading my video, so it's gonna go on my main channel, and then I'll be able to upload yesterday's vlog and today's vlog. Sorry, like today's vlog just really doesn't have that much, but yeah. Anyways, that was about it. And someone asked me about jogging and like putting makeup on or like washing your face. That's kind of like a good question because I'm always caught in that, you know, dilemma. But what I usually do is I always take a shower at night, and you know, I put all my skin care stuff on, and then when I wake up, what I do is I just slap on sunscreen without washing my face or putting anything on, and then I go jogging, and then I come back, and then if I want, I wash my face and, you know, do that stuff, and then, you know, during the evening when I go out again, and then after I come back and then I do my 10 o'clock exercise, I just go back into the shower. So that's about that. But if you're, you know, if you're in like this like normal world of working, or you have to go somewhere every morning, I know it's going to be really, really tough. What I would recommend is, um, I don't know, just like slap on sunscreen and then go jogging and then come back and wash your face and then, you know, put your skincare stuff on. Because I think that's what I did when I was jogging in the morning and in the afternoon when I was in school. So, okay, I'm gonna stop blabbering and I'll see you guys in my main channel, I guess.